Gentlemen in the mix.
Hey, traders. Hello, happy Sunday to you. Hope you had a good one, good weekend. Took off yesterday. Didn't know it was going to take off yesterday, but it's kind of crazy story how it all unfolded. I'll tell you about it maybe later. Well, yeah, cool that, that hidden divergence was developing, and then you got to a low point of 28,570 before 28,782. Those wicks, right? The one wick from January 21st and the wick from June 22nd of 2021. That was back tested and seemingly it held. And since it held, Bitcoin at its highest point today, appreciated 9.29%. Pretty good. Pretty good. You back test the spring for now. That's what happened. Hidden divergence didn't really play out. I would think if it did play out, you wouldn't have held 28.7. You would have started building negative momentum and you fall into wherever. It's the abyss down there, though, man. I can't even believe 25K held. There's nothing there. So it's like really good to see Bitcoin where you are now. Anything over 30K is like any day above ground, man. All right, I think under 28,782 is like, yeah, you're underground. So I don't know. I think there was like maybe a small supply line that was breached, or you're breaching it, and now you're just sitting at that 31,071 area. Again, that's the daily candle high close way back from January 8th, 2021 on the daily. It's not actually. It's just a bunch of different swing lows. Close to the January 20th low. Sorry, I'm thinking about, my God, dude, January 8th. I'm thinking we spent so much time around 40K. I'm just like, my mind just autopilots to January 8th, 2021, 40 to 42K. Sorry. So we're going back lower. All right, it's like May 19th and June 26th. And again, like January 12th and January 29th of 2021. So there you are. You know, since the crazy sell-off we've had going on 72 hours of technical buying. But we're not out of the woods, man. You understand how trends are. And the good news is, if you can really get above 31K, what do we know about 31K to 40K? Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, over and over and over again. So there's always a chance, right? You have to look at it like that. It's a pretty thin order book between 31K and 40K. So in actuality, you could think about what could happen even if you never get to 40K again. You run up to back test the old demand line of that flag, that consolidation structure that you fell out of. And that could be at 38.6, man. And again, it's all about the levels. So if you're below 30K, 28.7, you're in a lot of trouble. You're probably screwed. Well, guess what happened? It's not about the bearish breakdown itself, chat. Remember, it's always about the immediate fall through price action you receive after the bearish breakdown or bullish breakout. What was the immediate fall through price action? Literally didn't go down. You just have gone up. So that's great news for now. So you got to love it. 31K. Here's something that's about to happen in 49 minutes. I think we're about to have for the first time in human Bitcoin history, 7 red weekly candle closes in a row. That's inevitable. That will happen. But because there's just no time left. Sorry, dude. You're not going to close the week at above 34.3. But hey, man, you're working on it, aren't you? So again, like, this is why we're here on Sundays, you know. It's the Lord's Day. It's also Bitcoin's Day for the weekly, right? And yeah, as you can see on the weekly, for now, you're okay. You're above 30K, you're fine. Hey, if you're above 40K, you're fine. If you're below 40K, you could be screwed. You could be going the next levels. You did that. If you fall below 30K, you could be screwed. You could be going the next level, which unfortunately the only one's like 20K. So, all right, but I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Never happened before. We had 6 in a row last week, which the only time in history that had happened was sometime, I think, in 2014. So we got fresh records, fresh history coming at you. 48 minutes. Still above support. Nice. Very nice. That's right, Crypto Hoarder. We're not dead yet, man. Yeah, let's keep things family friendly in the general chat. I know people get out of hand, but whatever. Okay, so that's your weekly. At any time, I mean, really, it'd be interesting to see the 200-week moving average again to test that, like we did at the COVID crash, as also we did in the 2018 capitulation event. It'd be cool to see that again at some point, anywhere, if it's now or if we keep selling off next week, when you'll eventually start developing classic bullish divergence, and no one could argue with that, right? I'm just saying, eventually, no matter where you bottom, we have no idea where the bottom is. It could already be in, but it also may be far off from it. But you could just imagine a histogram island that eventually does this. That's a low, the lower low, classic class A bullish divergence, seller exhaustion. So, that is in time what could happen. The unfortunate occurrence on the RSI is you are at your lowest levels since the COVID crash. Dang, man, you go any lower, you'll be like exceeding that. So, bear market 2014, 2018 capitulation, COVID crash, and now the everything bubble popping, I guess we call it. I mean, that's what you'd have to say, everything bubble. Risk on assets bubble popping. So, and that's like as designed, if you don't know. The Federal Reserve is doing that. They're literally tightening. They're still buying assets, kind of, based on the charts, but still, they'll be tapering that. And with the interest rate increases, they are literally trying to destroy demand, and it's happening. All right, so that's it. That's your Bitcoin update. Nice. Ethereum 2128. Nice. Hey man, get back above 2K. We're all right. We're not like out of the woods by any means. These trend lines are really just here because it was the range on the 4-hour I had plotted. I should have just done a horizontal ray instead of a horizontal line to not create confusion. So as you look between, where's the reasonable target here? To me, it seems like 2300. If you're above 2040, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, a million times, right? Down, up, right? It's very rare you don't run straight up to 2300, or if you hit 2300 and fail, you don't go straight down to at least 2000. Normally lower, but yeah, where you are is pretty decent for possibly a little bit more of a rally, assuming the index funds, the futures don't just start crashing, which I think we kind of had that maybe crash event last week, definitely for crypto. But again, just looking at the levels, you're above key levels, some key levels, and you could run a little bit more. Like based on history, you got like maybe 8% more upside on Ethereum. Maybe, like, just looking left. That's it. That's all I'm doing is looking left. Okay, so we'll go to the weekly on this one. That was pretty freaking ugly. Still is ugly. My God. Yeah, you held the major support from May, June, and July last year. You hit it, and what a rally. I mean, my God, dude. Scalpers rejoice since the bottom. Ethereum's rallied 23.6%. Dang, dude, that is volatile. But you will be closing, and this probably has to be similar, right? Where it's 7 weeks in a row. Probably the only time in history Ethereum's done that, just like Bitcoin, I would imagine. Yeah, so more history there, and as long as you hold, I guess 19 or 1700, you're okay. You're okay for now, but again, the trend's not really your friend. Lower, you made the highest high, then the low, then the lower high, now the lower low. Now, of course, the same thing's going to develop on Ethereum, or a classic bullish divergence eventually when we get to a bottom, whether it's now or whether it's the 200-week moving average, or it's whatever, or it's 1400 where you test that January 2018 peak again. You got pretty freaking close. I mean, at the lowest lows, you were only about 15 to 16% away from retesting that level. So, yeah, it's going to be 7 weekly red candles in a row. Yikes. So we can just go to BNB. That, wow, since it almost got to that level, they were just up. Bitcoin started around a little too early, and so BNB started rallying. And my God, man, it's insane. So you think, right? Then order book, straight up, straight down. So 332, 348 could be tested from where we are now. So you have a little bit more upside, just like Ethereum, assuming the stock market doesn't crash. So 6% to 11% more upside. based on, you know, what we know looking left from history. Is there a formal edge? No, there's not a formal edge on anything yet. On significant time, daily or weekly, nothing. You've only showed bearish convergence. You're resetting the oscillators. Okay, you're in a downtrend and you're resetting the oscillators. You're making a rally. And, you know, wherever this tops out, if it tops out at $400, it's still a downtrend. If it tops out 410, even 428, and rolls over, it would still be a lower high than previous highs, and the downtrend would continue. So, yeah, there's just like Ethereum, a little more upside on BNB. Constantly checking CoinMarketCap so I can look at whatever asset is in third, fourth, fifth place. It's different every time. All right, XRP. Is the XRP that, you know, like BNB went like so effing close to like a level, you know, that makes sense and just rallied slightly off of it. Hey, there could be more upside potential on this one too, based on, you know, the lack of price action you get between these levels, 32 cents to 58 cents. There's more upside, but there's no edge. Nothing's implying the seller's exhausted. So I think it's just following Bitcoin, following Ethereum, following BNB, following the index funds or the futures, right? Yeah, that's all it's doing. So there's more upside, but there's no edge. More upside, so it's like at any time this thing could start rolling over and continuing. What trend are you in? Are you in a bullish trend? You're not. You're not in a bullish trend, dude. You're in a bearish trend until something changes. You can't just make lower highs for over a year and then now we're making lower lows. You can't do that. That's bear trend, not bull trend, not uptrend, downtrend. So yeah, but of course, in between this level, there is a thin order book, so you could definitely see more upside like we've already talked about on others. It's like the same story, right? So yeah, that's kind of it right now. 40 minutes to your daily candle close, XRP, and then we go to Cardano. That, what a joke. What a joke. Another one that was just like that it pretty much hit that next level. You know, hey man, this is bad. You're probably going down to 38.8 cents. Well, you went down to 39 cents before rallying. So you were very close. On this one, there actually is kind of maybe bullish divergence developing from the low to the lower low. That's a little bit of divergence going on. But again, between this level, it's a straight up, straight down affair. The upside could take you all the way to 75 cents if, like, for real. It just all depends on what Bitcoin does and Ethereum. And really the VIX, and more importantly, what the NASDAQ does. Because Cardano's going to do what the NASDAQ does, dude. All right? So, yeah, this is crazy territory where things are wild. When you have thin order book areas, right, that just means there's very little buys and sells between levels. It can be very volatile. It's up 10% today. What? Cardano? I can't even tell. 10%. You're up 10%, but from the top, Cardano is down currently 81%. So 10%, congratulations, you know. Hold on. Hey, it's Susie. What's up, Susie? How you doing? There you go. There's your shout out that no one does. What is this? 2019, man? Back when everyone was asking for shout outs. No one does shout outs in 2022, dude. You didn't get the memo. Okay. So, what was it? Cardano, Soluna. Well, not Soluna. I keep saying that, man. I'm telling you, it's a Mexican restaurant around here called Sol a Luna. So it's like two S coins have merged together. All right. And, oh, wow, good news. Really good news here. If Sol gets above $55, you understand the upside potential, at least $78. That could happen, man. Right? If historically all you do is straight up or straight down, you could say, like, there's a pivot here, there was a high here. You could say $78 and $79 from here. Now, there is no edge, really. There's not one. Like, there's no daily seller exhaustion yet, but Sol's trying to get back above a critical level, and if it does, it has some upside. In fact, it's more than you would even believe from where you are right now. I mean, minimum, let's say like 35% upside. I can't even, but that's a bear market. You're still in a bear market. You rally up there, you test it, you roll over again with hidden bearish divergence. The downtrend continues. Just because you're in a downtrend doesn't mean you can't get insane markups in those downtrends. It's just harder to gauge them, and a lot of times it doesn't go the way you think because the market, the market indicators, if you have them, which you don't right now, are still not as reliable and can underperform. You're normally looking for the asset to run up 35%, and then you go short at $80 again because there's hidden bearish divergence and you're in the downtrend, and then it rolls over again. So anyway, I think this is great news. Great news for Sol that hit and exceeded an 88% retrace from its previous low, is starting to react, which is good, right? What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. The X, the A, the B, the C, and then the D. 886. Wow, dude. You can't tell me that's not nice. I mean, that's literally right there. Inflection point confluent with an 886. That was the target when we were falling below 125 in January. Well, eventually you'll see $58 because nothing else makes sense. Well, it took a little while, didn't it? It took another test and a fake out before rolling over, and we finally got there many months later. But here we are. We could be experiencing an actual major reaction on Sol because it's typical wave structure stuff, and the wave structure pattern completion zone just happens to be at a level that could be considered a support or resistance. All right, and you're breaking that resistance. That's all that's happening right now. Okay. Okay. Sol, and then Dogecoin. Yep, that's right, man. We gotta look at Doge because it's somehow up there as like an S coin that's higher market cap. Well, you can't say that it wasn't literally perfect. I mean, you hit the 1.618 on Doge. Look at the streams when we were at 12 cents and this same pattern was here, and it goes down to, does it hit support? Not really. I mean, kind of. I mean, maybe you could say that March 9th level was a support. It hits that, but really it's that 1618 and maybe confluent with that level. And since then, since the reaction, wow, we just talked about Sol catching a reaction. Well, to Doge's own respective wave structure, it's up 41% from hitting that pattern completion zone. 1.618. This is not a random weird Rudy Poo number. This has been here before any of this selling happened. Okay, so cool to see reaction. But what'll probably happen, you probably continue your rally, you'll sell off, maybe make a higher low or the same low or a lower low, right? It means outcomes, but then you'll rally and maybe just end up making a lower high in the previous high, right? You just think about just normal rallies from highs to lows. The golden zone between 10.8 cents and 13.5 cents, that's normal lower assets will, eventually rally to before it's over, and then they continue their downtrend. It happens every time, right? You have these rallies, but they're just always turning into lower highs than the previous highs, and then lower lows than the previous lows, and lower highs, lower lows, and then it could continue, or a major lower high gets put in, and then you make lower lows, but this could take a month or two, right? I mean, it just takes time. So there you go. There's your Dogecoin. Feeler. What's up, Gail? All right. Polka Dot that had recently hit all-time lows or something, or close. Maybe that was comp. Oh, that was comp, not dot. So, there you go, man. You're getting back above a very critical level. Like, if you're above 1060, there is potential for massive upside. It's all about the levels. You know that. It's not fortune telling. It's literally like, hey, if you're below 1060, you could very well go to 668. You were very close. You were less than $1 away from hitting that next level. All right, so you've sprung back above a key level where it's a straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down situation. I mean, you could be going straight up again. Like, that's just how these things work. But when you go straight up again, you're probably just going to make a lower high in the previous highs and roll over once more. So that's nice though. No edge though, no formal like seller exhaustion or anything, but you're still in a good place. You're in a better place than you were. Just think about what's happened from these bottoms. DOT is up currently 58% from its lows. Whew. Volatile, man, very, very volatile, and it's a good reason why. Hey, man, shorting after something's already dumped like that, that's FOMO, right? Shorting after something's already collapsed. You can get wrecked the other way too. So I don't know. I think you're safe above 1060. So once you fall below 1060, you're screwed. But above it, hey, there's always hope and promise for more upside, possibly a lot more upside. I mean, you could just look at maybe 1361, just the scan wick low, pretty close to that low from February 25th. Just being really, really conservative on potential upside. Could maybe be more, like where you say, maybe like 20% more upside if this is real. This is the daily. These are not 4-hour times. These are pretty significant. So, okay. Oh, AVAX that was destroyed, but of course, like everything else, because Bitcoin rallied, they're all going to rally too violently. This one wasn't as violent. It does. They don't really look like, wow, they're up 58%, but you can't even tell when you zoom out, man. So pretty much just getting down to that next level. Hey, you break $37, probably going to $22. You got down to $23. I mean, just like all these getting so close to those levels. It hits the low to the all-time high, 886, and bounce reacted violently. Same thing, man, where you'd call this a bullish bat pattern. I mean, do I really need to plot it here for you to see? I can. Just starts making the chart really busy, It's like the XDA, then the 50% retrace on B, and then the lower high on C, meaning we know the pattern completion zone is an 886. Well, here it is. That's literally the PCZ. You have reacted. Remember, what is this one up from this bottom? Like this one's up 54% after it's hit its PCZ, the 886, right? That's just, isn't it magic, man? So again, no edge. It's like the same analysis almost on all these coins, isn't it? But it is approaching its 37.74, so this one doesn't have near as much upside as maybe a few others we've looked at, where there's like, wow, there's a lot of room to run if they're above like critical areas. This one's kind of at that next one, again, 37.74, and you're at $36 now. So I don't know, if you broke that one, then you go to 43.86. You ever break that, then you go to 54.71. It's all about the levels, man. It's always been that way. So. This thing on? Hello? I guess we can, I don't know. We looked at, like, you want to look at Shiba Inu, dude? Shiba Inu coin? Because that's the next highest market cap coin that exists out there. God. Here it is, man. Here it is. I don't even know which one I'm looking at, man. Hold on. This isn't the one. Is it on Coinbase? Nah, y'all gotta give me a minute. Let me find the one where actually I'm doing the work. Oh, by the way, here's your Luna, your update on Luna and UST, dude. They're still scams. You still lost, man. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right, Shiba on KuCoin. Yes, so the 1618, you haven't hit it yet. But you did hit a support and you bounced really well, probably 40% off those lows, right? Look the levels, like June of 2021, July, August. Those were peaks, right? Then it became a valley, and you've rallied off of it, but not by much. But of course, where you are right now, there's very little price action till a minimum of at least 1686, whatever that is. It's worthless. I'm saying, like, what is it? 1.686 1/1000th of a penny or something. All right, so you got a little more upside before you at least face some sort of level. But yeah, above 955 is pretty good. But we were thinking that the 1618 eventually, which I still think is possible, But you're just down there at those 95+% retraces, the low to high. Where is it? You know, you exceeded the 886. You fell below it, man. Wow. Full reset and beyond on this one. All right, so again, that one, and then Tron's after that. Tron Connect. That's kind of hanging in there. Still alligator blood. It really is alligator blood. It's one of the only cryptos out there not making lower lows than their previous lows locally. This one's like one of the only ones making a higher low than previous low, and it's trying to do it for a fourth time, but you're below that 200-day moving average. I'm still a little sketched out, right? I'm sketched out because of the way the macro is. We know Bitcoin's in a downtrend, Ethereum, BNB, they're all on downtrends, at least for now. So it just seems like it's going to be harder for any asset in crypto to perform well, even if it's trying to do something better. You know, like Hex has been trying, but my God, how can even Hex survive, you know, or hold on to these supports with all this incessant selling and deleveraging and volatility and everything just, you know, correlates to one in these times. So, but maybe we get a bear market rally. You know, maybe I think we obviously will. There's never been a time where we just don't get bear market rallies. I think in 08 we even saw a 15% rally before collapsing again. So and if that happens, then you could say crypto's going to do the same thing. Crypto's going to roll over too. But while the index funds are rallying, crypto's going to be okay. It's going to rally too, and maybe we'll outperform, because in history we've seen that Bitcoin does outperform, has been outperforming. You know, like in January and February after that, Bitcoin was going crazy compared to them in performance. So let's go to, man, do we even care anymore about UST? I'm just going to stop looking at it, all right? I'm adding an alert. If it breaks that, then we'll go to it. No need for the Luna collapse battle station, right? I don't know. Let's go to total, man. Let's go look at total now. How's total doing? It's great, actually. It's in really good shape here. Wow. This is actually pretty nice, dude. Okay. Did we ever, chat, did we ever get a daily candle low close below the critical levels? Not once. That was it, man. And what are we doing? We are emerging back above the key level, where almost everything we do is straight up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we could go to $1.71 trillion again in actuality, or at least 1.5 trillion, where you've got this wick low a couple times, January, February. It's definitely possible. You have held support for now, though I know it sucks. But like, we were up here and it's like, dude, there's just not much you can, I mean, from here, probably 1.2 trillion. And what happened? You got to that level, and now we're at that level, and we have not broken it. What the? Jesus, dude. All right. Here's your chart. Okay, do you see this? Okay, total, right? We're up here. Hey, 1.6 trillion. Dude, there's a lot of downside, and the downside happened because it's straight up, straight down everywhere between these levels, and you didn't get one daily candle close below this level, and you've begun to rally, and you're back, like, you've definitely kind of gotten above it. And so there could be tremendous upside if you hold this level long enough. But again, you normally want forms of confirmation. Like, look how many times, 3 different times, testing it before really breaking back away. So it's a very good start, and technically it did what it was gonna do. It did what made the most sense based on technicals, right? Where it goes straight down when it broke it, and actually back tested it with a bearish engulfing tweezer top. So, like, again, I don't know where this is going next, but I can certainly tell you you've been at a critical level, and you're now trying to rally and get above it, where you could go straight up again, or at least to, again, 1.5 trillion. Yeah, if you break this 1.3 trillion, you're in a lot of trouble, man. Like, my God, minimum 835 billion, 820 billion. And then after that, it's like, wow, you know, like, here you go. Like, that's a long way down, isn't it? Yep. So that is tremendously significant, holding this level for now at least. So who knows? You rally, you stall out at 1.5, you sell off again. Maybe we double bottom there. like we have before, and you get confirmation that the bottom's in, and then we get an edge maybe there too. So good stuff, at least for now. I think like, the bottom on the Dow Jones, like temporarily could be in. Sure, it can always temporarily be in, but we already talked about this. You get bear market rallies. You do.
Hot Near Moon Boy tipped $24.89. Happy Sunday fun day. Let's take a look at Near, which is holding support and reacting at the sharp PCZ. Looks like Chad may have lost the poll. Smile, cheers.
Well, it fell below it initially, man.
0032 BTC.
It technically didn't hold, but now it did. Yeah, no, traders never settled up lower than that. Settle, right? They never SETTLE'd below that level on the daily at 641. All right, so that's great news. And it, just like many others. So you're gonna test this level right here, 745, which you already have today. That's clearly a peak from March 14th, April 12th, and of course, May 15th. If you break that level, the upside, it could take you to 1037 again. So if you broke that resistance, based on history, you could be going straight up to 36%. It is all about the levels. It's only been that, but there isn't an edge, so it's not, and there's no confirmation. So it's cool. You just crashed. Congratulations, everyone. You survived a crash, I think. And assets ran to the next levels that made sense based on technicals, peaks or valleys from history. They almost got there. Not all of them literally touched, but they were extremely close. And now you're beginning to react at those levels, which is great. But it doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. It doesn't mean we're going into a bull trend or the bear trend is over. It just means there could be some upside on this reaction. It's good that we held, though. Arby's Manager Association Vice President. Oh yeah, y'all are shorting? Okay, we'll talk to the McDonald's Managers Association, dude. All right. Wow, the memes go deep. Okay, you're a real one if you get that, because that's a newer meme. Okay, that was like born during the Luna crash, going to zero stream. So, welcome, dude. Welcome, dude.
Is that a joint?
I'm gonna call the. If you're the vice president, I'm gonna call the president. If you're tipping me 420, you're gonna get drug tested on Monday, dude. All right, don't get wrecked. Am I bullish? No, but I also understand that you're at levels and you're reacting to them, and that's great. We understood if Near didn't hold 1037, it was probably going to 641. What did it do? It went below 641. It went to 519. But again, that was intraday price action. You actually did hold with candle closes. So it's just, I think the TA has been respected very well. But now it's like, if you're above these levels, that's great, but it doesn't mean the trend is bullish yet. Okay. That's it, man. All right. So I think that was the only request on the day so far. So you better pray for this level to hold, Larry. You better. Let's look at the futures, maybe, right? Why don't we look at the futures, man? Okay, so you've got the S&P futures that had a massive daily bullish engulfing candle on Friday. Okay, a nice engulfing candle, and people think the bottom's in, and engulfing candles do usher in bottoms, at least temporarily, depending on the fall through you receive the next day, which is today. That it just opened about a few hours ago, an hour and I don't know, it opened at 5 my time, so an hour and 20 minutes ago maybe. So you are now testing again the inflection zone, right? Where if you get above 4,058, based on history, most of every time almost, you go straight up to 4,200. You go straight down to 4,000. You go straight up to 4,200. Right? You go straight down, you go straight up, you go straight down. You could go straight up again. But if you go straight up again, does that mean that you're set? Does that mean that you're in a bull trend now? No, it doesn't. Because you have to recapture previous highs and make higher lows, higher highs. Let's go, dude. Let's go, bud. Yeah, we'll look at it next for sure.
Crypto_hoarder tipped $106.74. Defy perp when you get a chance. been catching an absolute beatdown lately. Looks to be holding highs from November deck 2020 for now. 0.05000000ETH.
DeFi purple, we'll look at it, dude. Been getting wrecked, but guess what, dude? Even after crashes, rallies occur. Talk to everything going on right now. Everything's reacting. But if you're reading the charts, you have to understand what makes something a bull trend, what makes something a bear trend. It's very simple. It's consecutive higher highs, higher lows. Consecutive higher highs, higher lows, over and over. Or a bear trend, consecutive lower highs, lower lows. What is going on in the S&P 500? Consecutive lower highs, lower lows. So you rally here. You go all the way up to 4,200 and everyone thinks we're good because you breached a level that made sense where nothing, you go straight up. Straight down. That's all you do. So you go straight up, you make a lower high, then you roll over again, you make a lower low in a month or two. So, yep, even the most terrible downtrends have rallies. 2018 crash. My God, what an insane rally Bitcoin had and the altcoins had. And they had multiple ones. But every time, they just ended up making lower highs than previous highs, and they rolled over and made lower lows. Or the same lows. Okay. Then Crypto Hoarder, the 106.74. We'll go to it right now, man. Oh, also, sorry, forgot to...
I like turtles.
Okay. The DeFi perp. It's the perp, dude. Definitely the perp where, my God, man, it's just kind of like, you know, if you breach a certain level, for real, what happens, man? You go to the next level. 35.14, what happened? You fell below it, but it's not about, again, it's not about the bearish breakdown itself. It's about the fall through price action. Fall through price action was you didn't break down. You bullish engulfing, and now you're catching follow through. And there's a lot of upside. I mean, based on history, there are not many things that have happened besides the straight line up, straight line down. So you could think it could go to 55, 53. Right? Because historically, that's kind of all it's ever done. And another thing that's kind of nice, it looks like an 88% retrace on the eyeball, right? Because it literally was an 886 retrace from the low from November 2020. So you're at those areas where major reactions can occur. Just because it's the 886, dude. I don't know how many times you have to see an 886 for you to understand, oh my God, 886s are real life. They're unbelievable. Win 886 tattoo on your body. So again, yeah, straight up, straight down. So you could go from here, 55, 53, and it really wouldn't be weird based on levels, technical levels, where you're talking 36% upside from here. But I think we were talking about if you break 5,500, you go to 3,500. You had a good old 37% downside. If that happened, so you held that level, and now you're rallying. So you could go straight up. You could go straight down. Up, down, up, down. That's how it works, man. This is all levels. Mr. Miyagi. See, Daniel-san. Straight up, straight down. 31,270, 288, 340. Wow. On Bitcoin. 14 minutes till your daily candle close, weekly candle close. If you're enjoying the live stream, hit the like button, the bell, the sub. Thanks so much for being here, everyone, on a Sunday. Oh, yeah. Nice, dude. 886. So reactions occur at 886s all the time. Are we cool, Crypto Hoarder? Let me know. Thanks. So, one thing that's real. Do you see this? Do you see this right here, chat? That is a fog machine. I don't even know how to use it. I think it's easy to use, probably. You just put water in and you're good. But I don't really want to mess with it yet till I have the lasers, because I have to be very careful with the reading I've done. On these fog machines, they can definitely trigger smoke alarms. So I got to be careful, and I really got to maybe only barely do it just so we can get the laser working, or the fog to complement the lasers to where you can see the lasers better because of the fog, right? So one came in, but the other's just not in yet. Let's go to Bitcoin again. That is rallying. Is rallying, man? What's up, B-Shit-I, man? How you doing? Hi.
Hope the concert was fun. Where they coincidentally covered your favorite band.
Dude, it's so weird. It's not quote unquote. It's real unquote, because like my buddy and me, we had ate brunch somewhere. We were hanging out that area, and then we get back to my place. I changed, and then I was like, "So what do you want to do, man? You want to go to this brewery or this brewery or this one?" And he's like, "Well, I've never been to that one." I'm like, "Well," I was about to flip a coin, and I'm like, "Well, if you've never been to that one, let's just do that then. You know, good experience, good vibes. We get there. We're on the way there in my car, and I'm listening. I have Widespread Panic playing, you know, on my Spotify. And we get there, and we're just hanging out, and then this bar starts practicing, and I'm like, they're playing Widespread Panic music. And then I Googled Avondale and all that, and then, oh my God, wow. It's literally a cover band for Widespread. Couldn't believe it. And then bought tickets, and then stayed the whole night. It was amazing. Yeah, crazy. I've never, like, that's just, it doesn't even make sense how that happened. Out of all the people there, that's probably the only, like, I had no idea. So they probably all knew or something. I'm sure, Jay, the 618 ratio, fog to laser, yada. Let me get out my quickie later. So good news, right? It's good news if you're above 31K. That means you're above ground. If you're above ground, hey man, it's great. You're Scarface until you're dead. And that's below ground, which is below 30K. 28,782. That's it. All right. So you held for now. And the upside potential, depending on where we end up closing in 11 minutes, could be high because history tells us it's a straight up, straight down thing all the time, man. So when you back tested 42K as resistance, April 20th, that was it, man. You cannot be bullish below 40K because of this reason, because history told us what could happen. It didn't happen every time, but after back testing 42K this time, it did do what it did in history. So if it holds this time, you could go straight up to 40K very fast and then go straight back down to 30K very fast. Do you get it? It's very volatile conditions. All right, just saying. And if you really, really pray for the index funds this week to hold on, if they can just break above their own inflection points and start rallying, if like the S&P is going to go to that 4,200, 4,420, okay, 4,200 area, then Bitcoin could go to freaking 40K. It's all about levels, man. I just want to make that clear. This isn't fortune telling. It's about straight up, straight down most of the time when you identify levels from history, you know? So Bueller. It's all about the levels, man. The levels. So let's take a gander as we were before Near Moon Boy showed up. Where is it? Yes, let's go to, we'll look at the S&P. Now let's look at, let's see. Oh, this is the Dow Jones futures, right? Yeah, very nice. Dow Jones futures that is rallying after a Friday, a massive engulfing candle on Friday with no edge. Not really at support. I guess it did hold that January 8th level, didn't it? It didn't even really get there. Depending on if you use the wick, it did, but it had never, besides those peaks, it had never been regarded as support really ever. It violated it immediately in February, March of 2021. But yeah, I guess it hits that level and is rallying. And you understand, if it can just break this one little valley here from February 24th and March 8th, if they can break that, you very well could see $33,000 again. And it really wouldn't be that weird. It wouldn't be crazy because it's like very thin order books, right? It's a straight up, straight down affair here. That's normal. So you rally, you end up, you know, getting unsuspecting scrubs back in the market and then exit liquidity on a lower high, and then you roll over, right? And this takes, you know, like a month or 2 months to all play out, you know? So I'm just saying, like, if you're in a downtrend and you have a massive collapse and you get to levels and you bounce, the bounce can be very volatile and can definitely make you think that we're okay, but you always have to just pay attention to the lower highs, the lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. You're going to rally. You'll eventually make a lower high. Even if you break 33.6, that'll really get people thinking we're safe. But you are in a bear market confirmed until you break above 35,265 and you hold above it. That is what is required for the trend to truly reverse. There's so much to do, and you've only just begun. But that means that there could be a little bit more upside. That's it, dude. All right. It's all about the levels. NASDAQ 100, very good to see that a critical level is trying to be retaken right now till something changes. A massive engulfing candle on Friday, just like the others. Wow, same story. But the levels, right? You look what you also did. Very interesting. From the lowest low, the COVID crash low, to the all-time high, it touched no support, excuse my burp, no support, just a 50% retrace, and that was the bottom for now. A temporary bottom where the NASDAQ from hitting that 50% retrace is up already 6.6%. Above this level, easily you could run to 12,973, 13K, and it really wouldn't be that weird. Okay? In fact, you could run all the way to $14,000 again, and it really wouldn't be that crazy. It just wouldn't, man. But what has to happen? How do you reverse the trend here? You must eventually recapture $15,200 and hold. That is the only way you reverse the trend bullishly. Or if you end up making a lower high, you sell off a lower low, then that's the next target. That's when you start reversing your trend if you break that previous level. So you're in a downtrend, but it seems like we might be starting a bear market rally. But hey, you never know. You got to wait and see what happens at open. All right, you're up 1% on the day for futures, NASDAQ futures. Okay. What happened to chat, dude? Jesus. Just running out the clock then, okay? Like less than 6 minutes. Jeez. Russell 2000 that clearly did the bear pole, bear flag thing. But what did it do? It like, you can't be surprised at all on this one. My God. It hit support that we knew was there, like below. I mean, it did it perfect, dude. This isn't like a TA sermon, like you're at Church of TA on the Russell 2000 futures or spot price. Sorry. So it's just like when you broke that flag, there was nothing that made any sense until 1700 to 1744, right? And now understand there's really where there's wide open spaces. If you held that support, you could have a reflexive rally that could take you to a minimum of $1,900, $1,895, just to test those lows, right? But if say you break those lows, you could run all the way up to freaking 2015. I'm sorry, yeah, 2115. Excuse me. Don't think that's likely. I think you'll top out lower than these levels, these two previous highs, somewhere. But yeah, this is just what happens after you get literally devastated. Look what you did. You broke bearish. You broke a support. Then you consolidated bearishly for a couple months, and then you finally back tested officially the old level of inflection as resistance March 30th. And from that successful bearish back test, you went virtually straight down to the next level, 20% in 44 days. That's TA respect, man. That is why that's real TA respect. You successfully bearish back tested. Confirmation to market participants that a top is in. What was once support too many times is now resistance, and you go straight line down, and then you bounced off of that level, and it could continue to bounce because there's very little support resistance above 1744. All right, nice, very nice. Thanks for 300 likes. Yep, for sure. Yeah, I'll get an oxygen machine for when all the fog is in the room, dude. Yeah, sure. Okay, so there are your futures, man. We looked at the futures. How's gold doing on the new week? Bitcoin's looking alright, and gold doing nothing. It's up 0.05% on the new week. Yikes, just kind of nothing burger. And I wouldn't trust this, man. I get it until it makes a lower low. All right, but to me, it's starting to turn like, hey, man, couple the handle, and all of a sudden it's like, nah, maybe Eye of Sauron, Tower of Berador. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, here's the Discord link. Go join it or be destroyed. That's where you get notified when I go live. All right. Yeah, I hope this is not going to happen. But look what happens when you break 1800, chat. What happens? Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Straight up. You know, you understand it could be straight down again after one high. Wow, that was incredible. All-time highs. Then you consolidate for many months, and then you confirm. There's confirmation that a top is in on a slightly higher high. It's almost like Bitcoin at 65K, then Bitcoin at 69K in a much more spread out chart, right? Where you're confirming the top locally now, and if you break 1793, you could be going down to 1522 really fast, and it wouldn't be that crazy. Because it's technical. It's just about the levels, man. It's not fortune telling. It's just looking left from history and identifying what kind of price action you received and where the pivots were to the upside and downside.
Gentlemen,
That's it. All right. Yeah, that's it. It's local on the 8s, dude. Sure. You know, Bitcoin 31,290. Really strong close on the daily incoming. Let's go back to it. And again, what is most important is the fact that you're closing this week and day. Both are really important here. You're closing the day above a level that if you do hold it for real, the upside could be tremendous. It's not about the bearish breakdown itself. It's about the follow through. The follow through there was none. The follow through was reversal, rejection of lower prices. The scam wick, liquidating everyone, getting everyone stopped out, and now the recovery. And where you are is freaking fine. You're fine right now. Barely fine, but you're okay. You're even better than a fruit fly right now if you can sustain these levels in the coming days and week, right? 50 seconds. And we will have history. We will certainly have history, chat. So you're hanging out on one day like that where it's in the books, where it will be 7 weekly red candles in a row. That's never happened ever. So if we think about like probabilities now, right? If it's never happened, and we know the one time 6 weeks in a row it was green after that, you could think that it's probably, it might be a fallacy to even think that. We could have a green week, especially the way we're closing right now. These are certainly the lowest risk areas ever, but there's no edge. But you're there, man, and I don't think you had an edge at all May 20th. I don't think you even had an edge. You kind of had an edge June 23rd, and then you developed a little bit more of an edge July 19th with that divergence continuing on the oscillators. But here we are. You don't have that yet. But that's great news. Jesus chimes for history, 7 weekly red candles in a row, but also positivity in terms of where we just closed, which is nice. We did it, man. We did it, man. No problem, man. All right, so that's kind of the stream, dude. What else am I supposed to do with my hands, man? I can only come live and show you the levels where we are, and that's good news because a lot of these assets held critical levels after crashing, though. Only after they lost 40 to 50% did it seem like they were about to do. They did it, and now after hitting the next levels, they're now rallying. It's not that crazy. It's just the way TA works a lot. And again, we'll just take a gander at the cemented history. There it is. Confirmed 7 red weeks in a row. Never happened before till today. In fact, this week's volume was the highest we'd seen since May 17th when, the hash rate crash happened. High volume. On that week, guess what happened the next week? Well, I guess that same week you had rallied all the way up to 34.7, and the next week you went as high as, my God, 41K. So I don't know. There's that liquidity still in the markets like there was. But eventually, wherever you bottom out, eventually you could start showing some really nice classic bullish divergence. But the issue is the RSI is so bad. It's like just no edge, and it's at its lowest levels since COVID crash. Yeah. Very rarely is the Bitcoin weekly RSI at 35. Seriously bad things are happening to Bitcoin when you're at these levels. So I wonder where that's going to bottom. Okay, so what else is there to do? Chat, got any ideas? Meh. Look at the futures, look at gold. We looked at a lot of S coins. And that's it, really. Yeah. Good news. Hex is above 11 cents. That's great news. That's like Bitcoin being above 30. If Hex is above 12 cents, I think that's the support. Then that's like Bitcoin being above 30K. That's great news. What do you care about the TLT, man? 20-year Treasury bond ETF has been crashing, you know, and I know Raul Paul has been aping into this. He keeps buying and it keeps dumping, and it's still like, you know, I think he started buying all the way down. It made a 99% retrace at its lows May 5th. 10 days later, here we are at 115.98. You are above a very little critical area here, aren't you? Somewhat. There's you know, above that level, you could be going to at least maybe 123. But yeah, it's been crashing, man. It's been crashing, man. Pretty bad. But let's look at the futures. UB1. Yeah, so you had a 50% retrace on C. This is a reciprocal ABCD, and 200% retrace has been achieved. In fact, you went to the next level. It's so crazy, isn't it, chat? I mean, is it really that complex or like weird when I'm just trying to teach, where when assets, they create these levels of inflection, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. What happened when it broke 176? Down. And what happened? You have reacted at least marginally so far at this level that takes you 2010, 2015, 2018. So that's cool. On this one, just like the TLT, you've made a 98%, 99% retrace. So I'm wondering, would this hold here? I don't know. At least catch a reaction that could take you to, you know, the midpoint, 163 or something. But that hasn't really happened yet, right? Nice. Well, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Uranium, the miner ETF here, up 8.75%. You know, it was like a cipher / I'm taking it now, a shark, reacting initially at the 886 now for the first time. I don't know, man. I get you're in the uptrend, right? But you just recently made a lower low, so there's no longer accumulation from January 26th to May. But you are in that long-term uptrend, still making a higher low than August 19th. That's the cutoff, though, for me, 61.39. I don't know if I'd want to own the asset below that level, but look at it. You're still above it. Still above it. You could run to $70, $71. If you ever broke that, wow, look out. You could be going to $93, $98. But what I don't like is this. I don't like that it's been on this really nice rally, and now something it hasn't done really. The whole uptrend is it is now showing distribution. That's new. You're below the 200-day moving average as well. That's not good either. Did you death cross yet? You're about to you death crossed, you golden crossed, you're about to death cross again. So but in fact you're below all your moving averages. So I don't really like the way this looks. I hate the deep retrace on B as well, because we know what that means, right? What this could be. Yikes. Uranium, I wouldn't put it past it, right? This is like a butterfly. Complex wave structure, a minimum 1272. Minimum. Right there. Yep, that's probably where you're headed in time. I'm just thinking here, you know, like it's about the waves, man. It's about the deep retrace on B, then the lower high on C. And now it's like you were about to bad action magnet move, and you very well could. You just caught a rally because risk on everything on Friday went berserk, including uranium, 8.75% up. Well, look at everything else, dude. Everything went insane. Nvidia, you name it, dude. The things that have been getting wrecked rallied, and so this did too. You held support for now, but you know, you rally, you'll probably make a lower high than $94 eventually, and then roll over and see that next level. There's an unfilled gap at $38. But yeah, I mean, the trend's still technically intact, but you have now shown distribution, which you got to be careful about. Okay, that's uranium, dude. We've already looked at Solana, man. We already looked at it. So I'm just going to get out of here. It's pretty dead. You know, I did everything I could. So I did my best. And if that's not enough, we'll can't do any better. Can't do any more than that. So thanks for coming out. I think you understand at least what I'm talking about. We're holding support for now until we aren't. So I'll just be back. Thanks, Crypto Hoarder Man, and everyone else. Till next time, respect the TA.
Gentlemen in the mix.